gathered here. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all. On behalf of our Government Arts and Science College, Satyamangalam, Erode District, I proudly welcome you all for this weekly online workshop on standard, standard touch lives. Ruza, Rashtriya Uchar project great. Welcome. First of all, to our Chief Director of Bureau of Indian Standards, Chennai branch, and I most welcome Ruza project directors who are all behind this program. I warmly and respectfully welcome our principal, Dr. K. Radhakrishnan sir, Government for Mangalam, who has behind. Welcome, sir. Genius, welcome to all the heads of the departments, professors, and students, and all participants who are all gathered here to add radiance to occasion. Once again, I welcome you all. I would like to invite our chief guest, G. Bhavani Madam, to start this session.
A very good morning to all of you. Am I audible? One of you can just tell if I'm audible.
Yes.
Shalini ma'am, your connectivity is very poor. Anybody from the Chennai region can call and tell whether it is audible. I'm talking now to a group of mute audience, right? If anybody wants to ask any questions, how will you ask? Is that the way we communicate? Is that the way we do programs? See, even I don't know what is actually what answers you're telling also I'm not able to see. So you need something very, very important, right? You need something which is there for connecting two people or many people in one platform. And that one thing is called standards. Let me give you an example. See, I would like to see the chat box. If I ask any questions, you can type in the chat box. If I'm now, tell me if anybody can hear me. Tell me if you can write in the chat box. Yes, I wanted to be very interactive in this. Whatever resources we have, anybody can. If anyone can hear me, please write in the chat box. Otherwise, there's no point in continuing with this. I'm just looking at the chat box. Yes, one Dr. Kavipriya, PK Kavipriya has told yes. Okay. Let me ask. I am seeing the chat box only now, Mr. Naveen Prasad. Okay. How have you heard of these standards? Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS. This is very, very important for any kind of work. Now let me talk about a thing which is there in everybody's hand, right? What do we have in our hands? We are stuck with the mobile phones, right? The mobile phones, the charger part, how many of you have noticed from different brands, do they have the same kind of charger? Do they have the same kind of pin? Do they have the same kind of pin? Earlier, when we used to have a bigger cell phones, the charging point used to be different. And in case of between brands, say for example, I know some few brands only, Samsung, Apple, the charger point is totally different. So in case you buy a cell phone, you have to buy the charger also for that particular brand. Are you doing that? Yes, right? So this place is very, very important. This point of having different chargers for different cell phones itself shows that there is no standard followed in the chargers. Do you agree with that? Okay. Now, let me ask you one question. Why are there 3 pins and 2 pins? 3 pin plugs is there, right? 3 pin plug is there and 2 pin plug is there. Which is safe, you think? Type in the chat box. 3 pin or 2 pin. If you feel 3 pin is safer, write type 3. Otherwise, type 2. Which one you feel is safer? No messages in the chat box, which means you're not able to hear me. 3. Okay, one person 3. Why? Why is it 2 pins? Kavipriya, only Kavipriya and Naveen are replying. Others are not replying. 2 pins. Which is safe? Abhinaya 3 pin. Yes. Why is 3 pin safer? You have 2 pins which is similar to 2 pins at the bottom, and at the top there is 1 pin, right? The top pin, if you see, it is slightly bigger in diameter than the other 2 pins and is slightly longer. So that is the earth pin. So earthing is for protection against shocks. And hence, when you plug a 3 pin plug into the 3 pin socket, the first pin that touches the socket till the end will be the first pin, that is the earth pin. So as a consumer, you are first protected against the shock. Imagine you're just plugging the 3 pin into the socket, 3 pin plug into the socket. The first pin which touches the socket till the end will be the larger pin, which is the earth pin, which means the system of the design of the pin ensures protection of the consumer against electric shock. And when you, after that only the performance of the pin starts, the passage of electricity happens, and this is how the protection of the consumer is weaved into the design of the plug. Now, when you remove the 3 pin plug out of the socket, what is the pin that comes out first? It is the 2 pins which are at the bottom. And the last pin to come out of the socket is the earth pin, which means that until the consumer removes the plug out of the socket, he is protected by the earth pin. So this is how in each and everything standards play a major role. It is weaved into the product in such a way that it ensures not only safety, it ensures protection. I will give you one more. It ensures protection. It also ensures quality. It also ensures sustainability. It ensures durability. To make a product a very strong entity, standards are very, very essential, right? So this is how the standards, they play an important role in your lives. My topic is standards. Standards, what is that? Standards. What did I say? What was it? A topic your madam said? Shalini madam had said. Right. I'll give you one more example. Have you seen AC? How do you switch on an AC? And how do you switch on a ordinary switch? Ordinary, you just on a switch. It is from the top to bottom you do. How do you switch on an AC? AC is from bottom to top, right? When you do it from bottom to top, it is only for high equipment, high-end equipments. It is because by mistake also, the by due to gravity or due to any other weight falling on the switch, the AC should not switch on its own, because it is a high power consumption equipment. So which is why here the switch on and switch off has been made differently in case of a normal switch and in a AC. So this is how the standard becomes a part of the product while design stage itself, right? So now, what is this organization, Bureau of Indian Standards, where I come from? You must have heard of BIS. Where did you hear of BIS? Hallmark. Have you heard of Hallmark? Right? Hallmark is something which we started very, very late in 2000 or so. Very good. Now we are, uh, actually, we have to say that we, as an organization, started as early as the independence of our country. When did we get the independence of our country? Type in the chat box. I want with the date. I want a very fast typing, because when did we get our independence? Okay, I'm not getting any reply. At least one or two voices I can hear. Can I hear? There's only one person, Naveen Prasad, Jairaj, who are typing. Kavi Priya. Okay. This college is at E Road, right? E Roadல எப்ப சுதந்திரம் கிடைச்சதுன்னு யாருக்குமே தெரியாதா? Okay. We started in 1947, much before our independence, which is on January 6th. January 6th, 1947, BIS, that is, in the India started thinking about standards. அதுக்கு முன்னாடியே we had standards. We have, Indians are the people who taught standards to the entire world. How many of you agree? Please type agree in the chat box. We have been setting standards right from so much earlier time itself. Okay. So now, at that time, the organization name was Indian Standards Institution, ISI. Now, are you getting a inkling that what is this ISI? Have you heard of this ISI mark? Have you seen this ISI mark in various products? Yes, the organization's name at that point was ISI. We started way back in 6th January 1947. And in 1986, our organization name became BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards. Why this? Why should I come and talk from Chennai about BIS and ISI? What is it for us sitting in E Road? Why? How does that affect us? Is your question. I can understand. ISI Shalini is not only for electric products, we have so many other products also. See, actually, ISI main purpose is only for the consumers, the protection of consumers. Then you must be agreeing that everyone is a consumer in one way or the other. I work in BIS, but I'm myself a consumer. You work in a college and you yourself are a consumer of so many goods, right from early morning, right from the tea you drink, the you use the kitchen, you use the gas stove, you use the gas cylinder, you use the pressure cooker. All these things, you are all consumers of such important products. Are you aware of the LPG cylinder? It's a big bomb ticking inside your kitchen. And you have a cooker, which is a big pressure vessel, which is sticking in, which is inside your kitchen. How safe is your mom? How safe is your mother working in the kitchen? How effective the food cooked is a food cooked. So all these things, you need something called quality. You need something called durability. You need something called safety. All these things are ensured by one mark, which is called the ISI mark, right? So this Organization is actually part and parcel of everyone's life. That is why I named the topic as standards touch lives, right? So everybody's life is woven with standards. The way the morning you get up, you go and brush your teeth, you go take bath, you go for a stroll, you come back to home. All these things you have particular time. You come to college. So this way of doing things is called standards. So the way, if you do it in a consistent manner, you set standards for yourself. You you talk in a polite way, you talk in a proper way, you do things in a proper way, you always do quality things, then you are known as a person with certain good traits. That becomes your identity. That becomes a standard for you. You are setting standards for yourself. So this is how we have been working on standards. So this work of writing standards is the first thing which we are doing, which is called standards formulation. um, it is nothing but a particular product you take. Say, for example, you take a notebook. You want to write a standard for a notebook. You just take a book, you say what should be the paper in a notebook. The paper should be of good quality. That's a wide term. You start telling that no, the paper should be of so much thickness. Each paper should be of so much thickness. It should be bound by a thick cardboard. And what should be the thickness of that cardboard? That you write. Then what should be the dimension of that notebook? How many pages should be there in that notebook? How much should the book be ruled or unruled? Should it carry a margin? Should it have one page, um, what do you call, without lines, and one page with lines? Even if it is lines, should it be double ruled or four ruled or single ruled? So these are the things you're writing as a standard. So you write and then publish it, then it becomes a standard, right? Now we are writing such standards right from 1947. BIS has been writing. So far, we have reached about 22,000 plus standards. And okay, now the activity of writing standards, you write for book, you write for table, you write for door, you write for your classroom, all these things you write, print it and keep it in the cupboard. Is that enough? Is that enough really? Somebody has to use it, right? So that is where a person who manufactures the books, a person who manufactures the notebooks, a person who manufactures tables should look into these standards and manufacture the books, notebooks, windows, tables, and whatever products you feel. Pressure cooker, your gas stove, your gas cylinders. If every product has got a standard and the manufacturers start preparing or manufacturing these products according to these standards, these books which we have written, then there wouldn't be any problem at all. If this Google Meet had been a place where I could see your faces, where I could see your, hear your voices, then it is something good. So there is something, a lack of standards or some disconnect between the speaker, me, and the audience, you, right? Nevertheless, we are able to connect between Chennai and Erode. So this is how you have now found a gap in the standards here, right? So now this activity, each manufacturer, like say for example, let us take the example of pressure cooker. I hope everybody would have seen a pressure cooker in your kitchens, right? A manufacturer of pressure cooker declares that yes, BIS has written one standard, Indian standard on pressure cooker. I am manufacturing that Indian standard, and it is, I know, I am very sure. Will you believe it or not? Will you believe it? Why should you believe it? That manufacturer is somewhere in North India, and he claims that my pressure cooker is as per the Indian standards. A notebook manufacturer. One notebook manufacturer says that I have manufactured note as per ISO and so. IS nothing is Indian standard. Why should you manufacture? Why should you actually accept it? Yes, then there is a third party which actually goes and verifies in the factory, which goes and verifies in that pressure cooker manufacturing factory, which goes and verifies in that notebook manufacturing premises, and sees whether the product is manufactured as per that Indian standard. And then they do not stop there. They take a product and ask the person there to test it as per the Indian standard. Whatever the standard has been made for pressure cooker or for the notebook, they ask them to test it. Once it is tested and it is, yes, it is complying, they don't stop there also. They take another product from the same premises and sends it to a laboratory, which is their own. And there, if it is passing, only then, only then the license is granted to them. So who is this third party? This third party is the Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS. So BIS grants them license after these checks, that is going to the factory, testing in the factory, taking the sample from the factory, sending it to laboratories and getting it tested there. And if it is meeting in both the places, only then it gives them the license to use the ISI mark, right? Now, how do you know whether this ISI mark is true or not? It is easy. Now, with the advent of technology, there could be so many products where the ISI mark could be misused. So, we have developed an app, right? So, I will just make a small presentation on that app. That app is there in every cell phone, your app store or your Play Store. You can just go and download and just typing the name of the app, BIS Care app. Okay. So just I request all of you to download the BIS Care app. Are you able to see my presentation? So this is our organization which started in 1947. So this is our location. Presentation is not visible. Are you not able to see the presentation? Just a minute. Huh? Are you able to see the presentation? Can you see the presentation? Yes. Okay, fine. ஸ்லைட் ஷோல போட்டா தெரியுதுங்களா? Okay. Yes. So the main activities I told you, it is writing standards, and then um, license granting. This activity of granting license is called conformity assessment. Assessment is what you have your assessments, right? Assessment is your exams, nothing but your exams or checking. How do you assess, right? Conformity is checking the conformity is something to meet the requirements. So, meeting the requirements of Indian standard, checking the meeting of requirements of Indian standard is called conformity assessment. So, BIS goes and verifies in the factory and checks whether the product manufactured by the manufacturer is meeting the requirements of Indian standards. So, that is why this activity is called conformity assessment, checking the meeting of the Indian standard of the product. Okay. So next, I told the third party is BIS, right? So this is it. We have three important marks. Of course, four. The hallmark is also there. And the first mark is ISI mark. A complete ISI mark will have the ISI, that whatever is the standard mark, and above that there will be a number, which will be IS followed by a number, and the below portion also will have a number, which is the license number. The above number is the number related to the product. So if it is national flag, if it is the national flag of India, the IS number will be IS1. So IS1 is the first Indian standard that was formulated for the Indian national flag. So which means that in as a sign of respect for the country, the first Indian standard was formulated for IS1, which is for national flag. So that IS number should be above the ISI mark, and below that the number shall be the license number, which is a 7-digit number or a 10-digit number, which is issued by BIS. Now and next is this mark, which is very, very important. The second mark, a kind of D and P. Have you ever, anybody has seen this mark anywhere? But this is something which is very important, which is found in the most important product which you are using every day. Anybody can tell me where it is? It is available in a product which you always hold in your hand. What is that? Your cell phone. Yes, all the electronic goods where safety parameter is there, where safety, only the safety aspect is addressed here. So you can see in your cell phone, open your cell phone, go to your settings and type in the legal settings. In the legal settings, type regulatory, or search, go to your settings and type regulatory. There you will find this mark. So this mark is called the CRS mark, the compulsory registration mark system. That is, compulsory registration scheme is the name of the scheme, CRS mark, which is there in all your electronic goods. Now think of your electronic goods in your house. You have your television, which is a LED TV or an LCD TV. Then think of the tab. If you're using a tab in your house, that is an electronic goods. Then you must be using LED lights. And then you must be using your laptops. Your laptops are all electronic goods which emit a lot of energy, which may be harmful. So with this mark, the safety of the product is ensured. So this is a compulsory mark which should be present in your laptops, tabs, your computers, your printers, your cell phones, and your chargers too. right? So these are some, there are about 75 plus instruments which are equipments, products which are covered under this CRS scheme, which is compulsory registration. Now you please go check the mobile in your all your mobiles, that is your father's, mother's, your sisters, or whatever. All these mobiles should bear this mark. Similarly, the hallmark is now for the gold jewelry, which has been made mandatory, which means that all the 323 districts of India. How many districts in India? 740 plus districts are there, of which 323 districts now hallmarking is made compulsory. What does it mean compulsory? The jewelry in those cities or in those districts, all the jewelry shops shall sell only HUID marked jewelry. That is, HUID is part of the hallmarking. So that also we will see. And I was just telling about BIS Care. I hope many of you have downloaded. I've just given you some time. I hope some of you have downloaded the BIS Care app. I want a yes. Okay, now I was telling that some standards are compulsory under compulsory registration scheme. This particular, the picture now you're seeing, there are some products which are compulsory for ISI mark. Say your pressure cooker shall have necessarily ISI mark. It shall be compulsorily ISI mark. The manufacturer who has to manufacture a pressure cooker has to first obtain the BIS certification and then only apply, then only sell his products. Okay. So we have, you can see what are the pictures there. You have a pressure cooker, you have a gas stove, you have a helmet. Helmet shall compulsorily be ISI marked. Always by, you must be using bikes, two-wheelers, right? The two-wheeler helmets shall necessarily, compulsorily bear ISI mark. If not, please throw them, and whatever you're having, please throw them, buy a new one with ISI mark. And then you have toys. The toys, the children who are the babies or even the elders up to 14 years of age, whatever toys they are using, that shall necessarily be ISI marked. This has become mandatory from 1st January 2021 onwards, right? And then you have the milk powder, which is baby food, your packaged drinking water, the water which you're buying at your home, that is also compulsorily ISI marked. The gas cylinder and all the two-wheeler, four-wheeler tires, your aeroplane tires, everything shall be necessarily ISI marked. And then above the tires is, what is that? It is the transformer, which is brought, which is also under compulsory certification or the mandatory certification. Next, we have the cement bags, all kinds of cement. For 15 types of cement are there. All the 15 types of cement are under mandatory certification. Okay, now let's move on. This is the fake and the real ISI. As I told you, a real ISI mark will have a number, IS, followed by the number denoting that product, and below a number, which will be the license number issued by Bureau of Indian Standards, and that will be a 7-digit number or a 10-digit number. Anything other than that is fake. Fine. So CRS products is the one which you have, I've told you, mobile phones, laptops, microwave ovens, printers, set-top box, power banks, mobile phones, and LED lamps. Then you must be wondering, I'll just throw, so all these mobiles are manufactured abroad. When they come to India, how will they know that they have to get ISI marked? Yes, they have to know. They have to know what is to be sold inside India, what certifications it should have. Our country is also precious for us. Our people are very precious. So they need to use good quality products. They need to use safe products. So before entering India, all the companies which are manufacturing outside, which are manufacturing cell phones, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, so many people are manufacturing products and they are exporting it to India. They have to manufacture as per Indian standards. And the Indian standards shall bear the ISI mark or the CRS mark. CRS mark is applicable for electronic goods. All other products come under ISI mark, right? So this is BIS officers visit the foreign countries and inspect them and see, do the same testing as we do it for the domestic manufacturers. Okay, what rule applies for a domestic manufacturer applies for a foreign manufacturer. It is not that he is so superior. Foreign goods are always of good quality, so it is not required. Nothing like that. He has to follow BIS Indian standards, right? We have a lot of laboratories, about 270 recognized. We have BIS laboratories around 8. Hallmarking, as I was telling, now this is the mark which has been made compulsory, HUID based marking, which is the latest one from 1st April 2021 onwards. Okay. 1st April 2023 onwards. This has become mandatory in all jewelry shops. Coming to Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, how many districts are there? 38 districts are there. Out of 38 districts, 29 districts, there is compulsory hallmarking. E-Road is having compulsory hallmarking, which means all your jewelry shops there shall sell this hallmark jewelry. What is a hallmark? Hallmark has 3 components. The first is the hallmark, which you see there. The second is the purity, which will be represented by caratage and purity in fineness. And third is the HUID. HUID means hallmarking unique ID. So this hallmarking unique ID is a 6-digit alphanumeric code. Alpha means alphabets, numeric means numbers. So it will contain either a alphabet or a number, but it will be a 6-digit code. Right? So this all must be there. Why the 6-digit code? You must be wondering. Yes, we will see that in the BIS Care app. We do a lot of training. This is one I'm doing now. We have about, now we have reached around 22,000 standards, more than 700 products under mandatory certification, and more than 40,000 licenses. Now this is your BIS Care app. Are you able to see this in your mobile phones? I want a yes from any one of you. Yes, yes. Priyadarshini, thank you so much for taking the pains. Now ISI mark is there. You can see, you have any products in front of you, a packaged drinking water, which is in front of you. Type the license number, which is below the ISI mark, into this tile. Verify ISI number. So once you type this out, you will get the complete details of the manufacturer of that particular product, and you will know what varieties are covered in that product. You can just check it. Had I been live, I would have told you what is it. I could have given you a number, but I'm unable to hear you. It is only the messages which I'm seeing, right? The second one is the hallmark. Verify HUID. Now you buy any jewelry, anybody has bought any jewelry, just look for that HUID, which is on the jewelry. Every jewelry will have a unique ID. So if you have a stud, the stud will have a HUID, and the screw behind will have another HUID. So a stud will have 4 HUIDs, 4 different HUIDs. One for the stud, which is at the top. So for one pair, you will have 2 top HUIDs which are different, and 2 screws which will have different HUIDs. All these 4 HUIDs you got to put in the style and check. Before buying any product or any jewelry, you have to check in this app whether this particular product is bearing a very correct ISI mark, genuine ISI mark. That you will check with the ISI tile. And similarly, when you check the hallmark before buying any jewelry, not after paying the money. Before buying the jewelry, before paying the money, you have to see. You must be thinking, now in a stud it will be very small, how do I see? Right? Ask. You have the right to ask as a consumer that you want a magnifying glass, nothing but lens. நம்ம லென்ஸ் சொல்லுவோம்ல, அதுதான். அதே மாதிரி the last tile, கீழே last tile இருக்கு பாருங்க, 9 tiles தான். 9 tiles only in BIS Carab. The last tile is your CRS number. Now go to your mobile, check whether this R number is there. Verify R number. That will be below the mark. That number you have to verify. It will tell you which tile, which country your phone was manufactured. And that is a genuine mark, right? So these were the presentations. And how, do you have a standards club in your college? BIS creates standards clubs in colleges. It's nothing, it's all free. Any science student or science, any college, it's an arts and science college, right? Yours. So they can become a member. BIS will be funding you for each and every program. For one program, we will fund you around 20,000. You can do minimum 3 programs, maximum you can do whatever. For each of the programs, BIS will be funding you for 20,000. And we will be conducting lot of competitions for which BIS will be giving you prize money of 1,000 first prize, 750 second prize, 500 third prize, and 250 consolation prize. And then not I still didn't stop, it is much more. We will take you for exposure visits to various industries. And apart from this, there will be online quiz competition, online standards writing competition, and we will be using your college students for conducting certain quality connect programs, where each student will be paid 1,500 rupees for conducting one such program for each student. So this is something which is very interesting. You can contact the nearest Bureau of Indian Standards, which is, I think you will be coming under Coimbatore branch office. You can start a standards club. You can win prizes. Now there is a contest of for college students, which is from the age of 18 to age of 30. You have to write a standard for which you will be getting a prize of 25,000. 100 students are going to be selected. No, you could be one of it. So please, I will share the details to the organizers of this meeting. You can also participate. Right, so I stop my presentation here. Thank you for the opportunity. If you have any questions, you can just post it through the chat, or you can switch on your mics and speak. I think the organizers of this meeting can enable mic, of whoever wants to ask any question.
Yes, ma'am. I will enable the audio to the students, ma'am.
Yeah. Harishka, is it?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Students, audio வந்து unmute பண்ணியாச்சு. இப்போ உங்களுக்கு ஏதாச்சும் further questions, interactions இருந்துச்சுன்னா நீங்க மேம் கிட்ட கேட்கலாம் students. Or else நீங்க chatலயும் text பண்ணலாம். Any questions, students? Chat boxலயும் போடலாம் if you are not
One Sasi Kumar is asking, what if they cheat us with fake logo or ISA mark? You have seen your BIS Care app, right? In that tile, there is a tile called complaint. Have you seen that? Where should we complain? Wonderful. I think Sasi Kumar has faced some problems in quality. Good. You open your BIS Care app. There you're checking the ISI mark, or you want to separately complain. There is one tile called complaint. Can you see that, Sasikumar? There you have to just go and complain. Any other questions? Just you have to complain it through that portal. It will ask you for some basic details like your name, your number, if you, and whatever you have any photograph of the product you want to complain, there also you can complain. So they will ensure free replacement of the product. If your complaint is proved, we will ensure free replacement of that product to you. And in case he is using ISA mark without getting a license, we will go and raid the premises, and that fellow punishment is minimum 2 lakhs of fine, minimum 2 lakhs, which may go up to 10 times the value that he has misused, or up to 2 years imprisonment. So you have to be very clear before complaining, because that could result in imprisonment of that particular individual. Any other questions?
Students, if you have any other questions, you may ask, ma'am.
Are you seeing the tiles, Sasikumar? Complaints? You can see that in the middle, the center tile. Yeah, comparison. Yeah, please go ahead. Kamalasan, I'm not able to hear you clearly. Actually, I wanted to present for 1.5 hours, but then we had some initial connectivity issues. Anyways, we can have more such presentations in future with from the BIS Coimbatore office also. You can call and you can do it. If any other questions from the faculty? Shalini, are there any questions from your side? Shalini was a person who's the faculty, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If there are no further questions, can we close? So, Harishka, you can take a call. Can we close?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now, Shalini ma'am will give you the vote of thanks, ma'am.
SI, DAS, HU, and its intended. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your decision. So students, Kirtiya, uh, thank you. So I'm grateful to express my heartfelt thanks to all those who made this event possible. First of all, thanks for your giving us this wonderful opportunity for hearing your mind-blowing speech on topic standard. Heartfelt thanks to our scientists
of Bureau of Indian Standards, Ms. G. Bhavani ma'am. And thank you to our grateful principal, Dr. Radhakrishnan sir, for arranging this opportunity to students for learning something new and different and consider about students' career. And heartful thanks to our Head of Department, Commerce, Dr. Kongianan sir. Thanks to our history, Dr. N. Sivakumar sir, all the professors of our institution and who are all gathered here for our now. And to everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Shalini ma'am, and thank you, ma'am, Bhavani ma'am. Thank you for your time, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Jairaj, thank you so much. Jairaj, which year are you in? K. Jairaj. Thanks a lot. Thank you so
Jairaj,
much.
நீங்க பேசலாம். You are unmute now.
I'd like to hear your feedback.
Ma'am, we give the feedback to the students, ma'am.
Okay, fine then.
So after that, I will share it.
Harishka, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for nice presentation given by us. Actually, I would like to thank the organizers. The president, actually, you are target people who are all living in the tribal and rural area. We are well aware about the agmark and related to the basic agro-based things and all. Then this scientific and industrial based hallmark, which are unaware about this, because mainly the commerce based students aware about that, but other students may not aware about this. But now the evaluation and when it was started, these are the presentation which was very good, and thank you once again. I will thank the college on behalf of the Government Arts and Science College. Well, thank you for your presentation. Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Jairaj, actually, Egmark does not come under BIS. Egmark is for natural products. Ghee, நெய் அதுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறதுக்கு தான் உங்களுக்கு எக்மார்க் வரும். இது எல்லாமே நம்மளதெல்லாம் ப்ராசஸ்டு ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ். ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணும்போது எந்த விதமான பாதிப்பும் இருக்கக்கூடாது ப்ராடக்ட். அதுக்கு ISI முத்திரை தராங்க. ஓகே, ஃபைன். Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.